Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Justin, and today I am bringing you a deck profile from the BT6 EX-01 format. Of course, anybody could do it. Old, friggin' DigimonCard.dev and just scroll through and show you cards online. But how many people you know are going to print out proxies for you just so we can do a traditional deck profile? If you enjoy, make sure you hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss any future content that I upload. I plan on doing deck profiles on a couple of really cool decks that I've seen before the BT6 and the EX-01 releases here in the United States. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. To start off, we are doing a Machindramon deck. So if you haven't seen this, then the EX-01 Machindramon has a very cool effect. We will get into it here in a minute, but let's start off with the babies, the Digitamas. They're going to be 4 copies of Pagamon and the 1 copy of Kapurimon. The Pagamon is coming out of BT6, and this is the starter deck Kapurimon. Pagamon being the main one because it is a searcher. It has the inheritable effect on deletion, reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand, and if it's a black Digimon, otherwise place all the cards on the bottom of your deck. Not a very strong searcher, but it's there. It's good. It's a nice little effect, and because there will be a possibility of deletion of your Digimon coming up. And then the 1 Kapurimon, when this Digimon has blocker, it gets 1000 DP, because of course our Digimon is going to have blocker. What we're hoping for. Moving into our level 3s, we have 3 copies of the BT2 Hagurumon and 3 copies of the BT3 Commandramon. These are simple, 2 costs to play, that's why they're in there. I have 3 copies of the new BT6 Toy Agumon. While this Digimon has blocker, it gains 1000 DP as an inheritable effect. Just like with the 1 Kapurimon. So if we want to build a decent blocker, those are good, those are helpful. And then another main searcher of the deck, 4 copies of the EX-01 Hagurumon. Of course, the card's still in Japanese. The proxy that I had available wasn't in English. But essentially, on play, this card allows you to discard a cyborg from your hand in order to draw 2 cards. So this is always going to be a hard play. 3 costs to play, but you get to draw 2 cards. And this deck is all about putting cyborgs in the trash. And basically just draw, trash until you get your Machindramon and enough cards either in your hand or in the trash to pull off your play. Moving into our level 4s, not a whole lot here, just 4 copies of the EX-01 Guardramon and 4 copies of the BT3 Tankmon. Of course, Tankmon's there for the 1 cost evolution. And the Guardramon, of course, has blocker, as you would expect from Guardramon, and then the main effect where it can attack. But it also has the inheritable effect, just like the Hagurumon, where you can trash a cyborg from your hand and draw 2 cards. This is a when attacking effect, so of course you'd want to Digivolve, play Haguru, Digivolve into Guardramon, and then Digivolve Guardramon into one of your level 5s. Preferably one of the black EX-01 cyborg level 5s, because we'll show you that here in a minute. And then swing away so you can draw more cards and trash more cyborgs. And then you'll notice there are a lot of level 5s in this deck, and that's kind of the whole point. This deck is based around the level 5s. So we'll have 2 copies of EX-01 Andromon, 2 copies of the EX-01 Metal Tyrannomon, 2 copies of the EX-01 Metal Mamemon, 2 copies of the EX-01 Megadramon, 2 copies of BT6 Volcanomon, 2 copies of the starter deck Megadramon, and then a copy of BT6 Megadramon and Gigadramon. So essentially, these level 5s are what you use to build your Machindramon into the monster you want it to be. They all have good inheritable effects that will boost your Machindramon. Starting with Andromon, Andromon will add blocker to your machine type, which is what Machindramon is a machine type. Metal Tyrannomon will add reboot. Metal Mamemon will add when attacking If this Digimon is a machine, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. This Megadramon adds a security attack +1, as well as the Volcanomon will add security attack +1 if your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon, which they most likely will. The starter deck Megadramon adds blocker. Then the BT6 Megadramon and Gigadramon add 1000 DP, but on different turns. Megadramon's on your turn, on Gigadramon's on your opponent's turn. And it's 2000 DP. And then the reason I said you will most likely want to Digivolve into one of your level 5 black EX-01 Digimon is because all 3 of these have the same when Digivolving effect. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 level 6 Digimon card with machine and its type from among them to your hand, and then trash the remaining cards. So it's more searchability. So the idea here, preferably, is to hard play Hagurumon, Digivolve Hagurumon into Gardramon, then Gardramon into one of your level 5s, and attack. That way, you get drawn Hagurumon, and then a draw off of Digivolving into Andromon or whichever one, and then more drawing when attacking. This right here is really the first bit of where I would say if you really want to make some changes, you can kind of change this up however you see fit. This deck obviously isn't a set in stone, like this is the only way to play it. The deck is very much still in flux. I don't know the best configuration yet. This is kind of what I built. Based on seeing other decks, and then just what I thought would work. You obviously don't want to get too many of any particular level 5 because Machindramon's effect requires that they each be a different card number. So having too many doesn't really do you any benefit because then you end up with a bunch of multiples in your hand or your trash that you can't even use. So I felt 2 of each was a good choice, but I went a little heavy on the blockers. If you decide you don't need as many blockers, just a 2 Andromon would be fine. You could replace these 2 Megadramon with an extra copy of this Mega and this Gigadramon to have a little bit extra DP boost, because these having 1 of each would make them harder to draw or trash. Or you could trade the 2 Megadramon out for 2 Metal Greymons that have the security attack. That way you could make an even stronger Machindramon with 3 extra security attacks instead of just 2. So those are some ideas there. Alright, moving right along into our level 6s, obviously Machindramon, and it's actually our only level 6. So Machindramon's big thing is when you play it, and that's the one downside to this. It's not a when Digivolving effect, it's an on play effect. So you have to hard play this thing for 12 cost. But when you play it, you may place up to 5 level 5 Cyborg Digimon, red or black, doesn't matter, underneath it as Digivolution sources, and they have to be 5 different card numbers. And then you gain back a memory for each one that you do place. So obviously you're going to be going for all 5. You don't really want to have to do it with less than 5. It doesn't do you any benefit. But you can, if for some reason you're having trouble getting to them. I don't see why you would. There's a whole bunch of level 5s and a lot of draw power. But you could do less than 5, but you really want to do 5. And you can pull them from the trash, you can pull them from your hand. That's the beauty of this deck. That's why searchability is good. There's a lot of searching, and that's why trashing the ones you don't need isn't a big deal, because you can still use them. And then on all turns, Machindramon's DP cannot be reduced. And then if Machindramon would be deleted, you can trash 2 of its sources to protect it. So this right here is our major win condition. You could Digivolve up into Machindramon if you wanted to. From baby to Machindramon is on the low end 7 cost in Digivolution to get to it. On the high end 8. Just depends if you want a 2 cost evolution or the 1 cost Tankdramon. But then ideally, if you play Machindramon, if I was to build Machindramon the way I wanted to build him, for my sources, I would have Andromon, or with my case, Andromon or Megadramon, either one for the blocker ability. Metal Tyrannomon for reboot, the EX-01 Megadramon for the extra security attack, the Volcanomon for the extra security attack, and then from here, most likely I would go with the BT6 Megadramon for the extra 2000 DP, so that it's 13,000 instead of just 11. That way, when I'm swinging security, there's less of a chance of being deleted. But there's still a possibility you hit a 14k or higher Digimon, you're going to lose your Machindramon. But the cool thing is Machindramon doesn't take a whole lot to get to it. It's a hard play at a 7 cost after you get all your evolutions in there. And with enough drawing going on between turns and up until you play your Machindramon, you might have enough in here that even if you lost Machindramon in a security check, you could just play another one next round. So it's not as tough a loss as it is for a Digimon that takes multiple turns and lots of memory to build into, like most traditional decks do. But this is just kind of my thing. You know, like I said, if you switch these up, or if you switched out, you know, the Megadramon for something else, like a Metal Greymon, you could do a Metal Greymon there and have 3 security attacks, or whatever. If you're going up against like a Rookie Rush deck, the Metal Mame card is a pretty good one because it lets you delete anything with a play cost of 5 or less every time you attack, so it can help you control the board against your opponent's rookies that are spamming the field, or playing against a deck that spams rookies like Lord Nightmon, or the purple decks. So that's also a good option too. And then we are playing 1 copy of the Omnimon Zwart to Digivolve into, because Omnimon Zwart lets you trash 3 cards from the top of your deck, which is perfectly fine for us, and then play up to 2 Digimon with a play cost of 8 or less from the trash, which is all of our level 5s. All our level 5s are a 7 play cost, so you can play any of them from the trash, up 2 of them, basically. And so Omnimon Zwart works great with this deck. And option cards, now this is just kind of whatever you want. There's some space there for option cards. I'm playing 1 Ultimate Flare to Digivolve your opponent's Digimon by 3. This is to slow them down if they're building into something quicker than I can get what I need together for my Machindramon. This will slow them down. It'll knock a level 6 back down to a rookie. It's obviously going to cost you a turn, but it buys you more than that usually. Same thing with Iron Fisted Onslaught. This will delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest play cost. It's great if it hits more than 1 Digimon, but really the idea here is, again, to play something, if I'm still building, to play something to knock them back down and make them start over again. And then playing 1 copy of Program Emergency Halt. This stops your opponent from being able to play option cards for 1 turn. And then the main option card that is a must for this deck is Ultimate Connection from EX-01. It's a 1 cost to play, but the main effect allows you to trash a level 5 Cyborg Digimon from your hand to gain 2 memory and draw 1. So you end up with an extra memory after you play it and an extra card. The idea, hopefully, is you don't have to trash these from your drawing. Hopefully you can get them in your hand, because the more you have, the easier it is to play your Machindramon, because you could drop 3 of these beforehand if you happen to have all 3, gain yourself 3 extra memory, and then play Machindramon. It only costs you 4, depending on what your situation was before you played these. If you already had, you know, 3 memory or 4 memory, you know, it helps. These cards help. These are a must-have for the Cyborg deck. And then to round it off, for Tamers, I've got 2 copies of the starter deck Taikamiya, 1 copy of Izzy Azumi and Joe Kido, and 1 copy of the Analog Youth. Taikamiya, this one is for the blockers, so if you use blocker to block your opponent, you can suspend Tai to unsuspend any of your Digimon, but ideally you're going to be unsuspending your blocker, because unsuspending another Digimon besides your blocker on your opponent's turn doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so you could have 1 blocker with 2 Taikamiyas on the field and essentially have 3 blockers. And then same with Izzy Azumi and Joe Kido, if your opponent has 2 or more Digimon in play, you gain 2 memory at the start of your turn, which your opponent will most likely have 2 or more Digimon. if you're not big on the blocker, you know, if you don't want to maximize your blocker ability, you could replace the Takemitas with more Izzy and Joes, because having 3 Izzy and Joes on the field means that you gain 6 memory at the start of your turn. Every turn your opponent has 2 or more Digimon, and that's just insane. I mean, that's pretty dang cool. That's a lot of memory to play with, and with this deck, a lot of memory goes a long way. And then the Analog Youth is just a good generic tamer card. On play, you can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon card from among them to your hand, and then trash the remaining cards. So it's got great synergy with this deck. More searchability, more Digimon in your hand, more Digimon in the trash. And then on all turns, if one of your level 5 or higher Digimon with Digivolution card is deleted, you may suspend this tamer, and if you do, gain a memory and hatch 1 Digi-Egg to an empty space. So that's good, because there's a possibility your level 5 that you're attacking with for the extra draw power off Guardiamon could get deleted in a security check. So having this on the field at that time would allow you to gain more memory, as well as hatch another Digimon. I will lay these out so you can see them. Full deck profile. Yeah, that's about the best I could do to fit them all on here for you to see. This is the main stuff you really want to know. The Digimon, the option cards, aside from the Ultimate Connection, and the Tamer cards are kind of, you know, whatever you feel is best. But this is my Machindramon deck. I'm going to be playtesting it. If any of you guys want to give this deck a shot, you want to playtest it, I've got a Discord server, linked in the description. I got plenty of tables on there. Hit me up in the Discord server if you want to pitch your deck against this deck so we can playtest it together. And otherwise, just let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below in the comment section. And then just generic YouTuber stuff. I got a Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, you really should. I tweet out new updates about the game, news, new card releases, whatsoever, you know, whatever, as well as, you know, tweet out when I upload a new video or when I go live. So you want to follow me there to keep track of all the things that I'm doing. And then the link to that is in the description, and while you're down there, you're probably also going to see links to all my different playmats that I've got designed right now. Go check those out, and then if you really wish to support the channel, consider taking a look at my Patreon. Patreon members do get like shout outs and their names at the end of the credits, but as well, certain levels get fun little things like this custom metal memory counter. You can only get this as being one of my Patreon members. I'm also working on creating custom dice. These have a little Agumon curled up inside them. So stuff like that are unique perks to being Patreon members. I don't know, I probably will never sell these separately, not like I do my playmats. So if you're interested in getting something like that, link to my Patreon is in the description. Obviously the support helps to support the channel itself. It helps me grow and do new things, create new stuff, and make new, helps me with my videos. Anyways, thanks for watching. Stay safe. Stay amazing, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!